Hi guys, what's up? Welcome back to my channel. I hope you're doing well. In today's video, we're actually doing a foundation kind of first impression kind of review. It is quite late, so I'm probably not gonna be like checking in with you guys, but I kind of wanted to try it out because I've had it for a minute and I haven't tried it out. So that's what we're gonna do today. Don't forget to give it a like if you like the video and subscribe, and also let me know if you've tried this foundation and like what do you feel like. Do you like it? Do you not like it? You know how it is. All right, let's get into the video. The foundation that I'm actually going to be trying out is this one by Rimmel. This is the lasting finish. It says 25 hours wear with comfort serum. Skin perfecting full coverage foundation. So it's supposed to be a full coverage foundation enriched with a comfort serum for instant perfect coverage that feels extra comfortable and lasts all day. Sweat, heat, humidity, and transfer proof for up to 25 hours. 25 hours apparently. Now the shade, I don't even think this is my actual shade because it's 103 True Ivory. If I remember correctly, I think my mom gave me this foundation. I think she bought it for herself and she didn't like the shade, like it was a little bit too light. She's a little bit more dark skinned than me, so she gave it to me, and since she gave it to me, I never tried it. So the other day when I was cleaning up my makeup, I found it and I was like, I haven't even tried this foundation. Like, it's just sitting there in my drawer and like, why don't I try it? You know, it might be really good. So that's what we're gonna try out today. Just gonna shake it up and see kind of how the shade is, because I feel like it's gonna be a little bit light, but whatever, we'll just kind of you know, bronze up and whatever. Just taking it out. Oh, actually the shade might be nice. It's just a little bit more kind of peachy. It has more of like a pinky kind of undertone than a yellow undertone, but it actually doesn't seem too bad, and it feels very like kind of moisturizing, like kind of thin. It doesn't feel heavy or thick or anything like that, but it does seem to have a really nice coverage. So okay, I'm just gonna take off the dot, but I'm gonna leave this here because I want to see kind of the finish. So I'm gonna let it dry a little bit and we'll see how it kind of dries, and also if it changes color more than it's, you know, how it is right now, right? So I have a couple sponges here. I think I might do like half of my face with a sponge and then on the other half with a brush. I don't usually like to apply foundations with a brush, to be honest, but just, you know, for the purpose of the video, because I want to see kind of how it applies with a brush in case, like, you know, you usually do it that way. We'll see how it goes with the brush. It seems to be drying and it's supposed to be transfer proof, so I do want to try that, because sometimes some foundations, like, you literally like go like this and like it comes off completely. So I want to see if this one is actually like transfer proof or if it's just like, you know, bull crap. Put about a pump just right now to start off. See how good of a coverage this is. I do have a couple spots, like my skin is kind of like not the best right now, to be quite honest. You know, time of the month comes, beautiful times, and my face just kind of goes crazy. So let me get a mirror. I guess we'll start with a brush on this side, just because why not. I'm just gonna dip my brush in there a little bit and kind of tap off some of the excess, kind of work it into the brush in such a way, and then I'm gonna start stippling it on. Okay. Has a little bit of a scent, kind of like just like clean, like fresh. The shade actually doesn't seem to be too bad because I'm like hella white, and with this quarantine thing going on, I don't think I'm gonna get any darker this year, but you know, I guess we'll do what we can. I'll just go out into the park or something and try to get a tan. That was pretty much my plan when I went to Mexico, but that just went to the garbage because I couldn't even go to the beach. But right away I wouldn't say this is like super full coverage. I would say this is more of like a medium coverage. It definitely gives you coverage, but I don't think it's like, you know, right away full coverage. But it does seem really nice on the skin. Like, it's not, even though it does have a nice coverage, it doesn't look heavy. Like, it looks pretty nice. So we shall see how it goes. It does have like a luminous kind of finish though. I don't know if you guys can see that. It just looks quite natural. So this is the side with foundation on, and then this is the side with no foundation. So you guys can see definitely evened out the skin tone and got rid of all the redness. Just applying it kind of, especially in this area, this is where I have most redness. So I'm just gonna try to build that on there. I really do like the finish. It doesn't look too makeup-y on the skin. Like, it definitely has a nice amount of coverage, but it doesn't look heavy, and it does feel a little bit tacky. So we shall see how it dries up. Here on my hand where I applied it, I'm like going with my finger and it's definitely transferring. So it's supposed to be transfer proof, but let's see how it is. I'm just gonna go over with the sponge to kind of like just pat that in. I usually do that anyway when I'm using a brush. I use pretty much the whole pump on my hand with that brush. So let's try it on the other side. Now the only thing is, it's supposed to be like a full coverage, and using a brush gives you more coverage because, you know, when you're using a sponge, usually it kind of shears off the foundation. So with this, I wouldn't say it's a full coverage. So on this side where I have like more spots, we'll see how that covers, because again, with a sponge, sometimes it'll kind of shear things out a little bit more. So let's just go ahead. I'm gonna dot some on the face so that I can start pouncing it on with the sponge. I think I'm gonna use a beauty blender today just because, I don't know, I'm just in the mood for the beauty blender. Definitely has like a luminous kind of finish to it though. It's a really nice finish, like a healthy looking finish. I think the shade is a little bit light. Now that is on my face, but alright. You can always use a little bit of bronzer to kind of bronze things up. Now I'm not really applying it underneath my eyes because I am going to be applying concealer on there, so I'm just kind of focusing it on the rest of the face. Here it is, the one layer of foundation applied with the beauty sponge. I don't mind it, but you can definitely see that it's like not super full coverage. So if you really like full coverage foundations, I don't think this will be the one for you, because you're probably gonna want more coverage. I still have some on the back of my hand, so what I'm gonna try and do is kind of build it up on some of these areas where I have like some spottings and some redness. I'm just gonna see if I can kind of build it up. On my nose, it's kind of emphasizing some texture that I have on there, which I'm not sure why, because I don't usually, you know, when I apply foundations, I don't usually have texture there, or like it doesn't emphasize it. So the fact that it's doing that with this foundation is kind of odd, since that doesn't usually happen. But yeah, I don't know if you guys can see that on camera, but it just looks, it looks a little bit kind of like as if I had like dry skin, which I don't. So I don't know. Alrighty, so that's pretty much the whole foundation applied onto the skin. What do you guys think right now? I think it looks pretty and it doesn't look too heavy for the most part, but on the nose it's definitely not the prettiest looking foundation. Like most of my foundations don't do that, so it's just weird that this foundation is doing that. I'm gonna try and apply just a little bit more with the sponge and see if that helps, because I did go over it with the brush before, and sometimes applying foundation with a brush is just like a no-no. Like it just looks like a mess, so maybe that's why. But yeah, it just looks kind of textured. Like I don't know if you guys can see that on the camera. And the rest of the skin, actually it looks really nice. I do like it. It looks really nice and like lightweight, and it has a nice dewy kind of finish. I'll let that chill for a second, because even still on this side it feels a little bit sticky. It does kind of turn a little bit, I was just removing it, but it does turn a little bit darker once it completely dries off. So this is probably gonna like get a little bit more of like a darker tone when it's completely dried. We shall see, because right now I mean it doesn't look too different to my skin tone, but you can definitely see it on my hand how it just kind of dries to a little bit of a darker finish. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna do the rest of my face, and I'll come back with you guys in a little bit to just kind of follow through and tell you guys how I feel. I do like it. I think it looks really pretty on the skin. Like it doesn't look too makeupy. It does give you really nice kind of medium. You can definitely build it up, but it's not a full coverage like from the get-go. So if you really like, you know, full coverage foundations, I don't think this would be the one for you, because me personally, I don't really like super full coverage foundations. So I like this. I like how it's, you know, looking, how I can build it up if I want to in certain spots. But if you really like the full coverage kind of finish, you're not gonna be such a fan of this. But I really like it, and it feels really nice and lightweight on the skin, so that's good. That's good. All right, so I'm gonna do that. I'm gonna do the rest of my face, and then I'll be right back with you guys. So a couple hours later, here we are, we're back. So you guys can see I took my time doing my makeup today, because I was just like in it. But this is the foundation. Pretty much, you know, I applied pretty much everything today. Like I put cream bronzer, blush, highlighter, concealer, like full coverage, and we're just having kind of like a full coverage moment here. And I like it. I actually do like this foundation. I think it looks really nice, but I don't like it on my nose. I just don't, it's not sitting well on my nose, like at all. It's just looking kind of cakey and like textured and just kind of weird. Like it's kind of odd, because I've never had a foundation kind of do that to my nose. It's happened that sometimes that the foundation doesn't really want to stick on there, but it's never really like emphasized it to the point where it's kind of like this, like how it is right now. So I'm not really liking that. It looks okay. It doesn't look like super bad, like to the lowest, but I just don't like it. And I feel like, you know, if I were out and about, that would kind of make me feel ways, because I feel kind of odd, you know, if people saw my nose just looking hella ugly. So yeah, I don't know, weird. I don't know what it is with my nose, but let's stop talking about my nose, because apparently that's what I'm gonna talk about here. But on the rest of the face, I mean, it looks nice. It's nothing that is making me go like, oh my god, this foundation is amazing, or anything like that. It's a nice foundation, but it's nothing too crazy, you know what I'm saying? It doesn't look like too heavy. It's not like sinking into my pores or anything like that. And yeah, I don't really have much to say about it. I'm gonna wear it for as long as I can, and maybe I'll do a check-in, but I don't think I will because it's already pretty late. So I think I'm just gonna wear it for as long as I can, and maybe I'll just write on, you know, in the description box how I felt about it, like after at the end of the day, if I liked it or if it just went to complete crap. But yeah, we shall see how oily it gets. Um, and I want to see if it's transfer proof actually with you guys. Hold on. I'm gonna take a little tissue, and what I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna pretty much like put on my face quite hard. Oh wow, actually I'm surprised. It looks like there's nothing there. Okay, how about on this side? Let's see, or on the forehead. Let's see. Wow, I'm actually really surprised. There's like nothing there. The chin? Nothing. Wow, that's actually quite good. The fact that it didn't transfer onto the tissue, because a lot of foundations tend to do that. Like even if you've already kind of set, which I kind of set the face, but in a very low key kind of way. So the fact that it's not transferring onto the tissue is a really good sign. So it might actually hold off to that claim that it's transfer proof. It also says that it's like sweat proof and all these things, but I mean it's like 6 p.m. so I'm not gonna be doing anything crazy, but we shall see if, you know, it works for my skin, because I do have a combination to oily skin, so sometimes I get oily on my T-zone. We shall see how it does with that. I feel like pretty much anybody could wear this foundation, but if you do have like texture or dry skin on certain spots, I feel like this foundation is kind of cling to those areas. So yeah, anyways, I'm gonna stop blabbing because I feel like I've been talking for hours. I hope you guys enjoyed. Let me know if you've tried this foundation. What do you guys think about it if you have tried it? And yeah, don't forget to subscribe and like the video, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.